And now we're basically talking about what you do to train them, or more specifically, what you do initially. Now, I remember you guys, one of the coolest documents I've ever seen is the first, like, 100 days, or, like, the first 30 days.
Yep.
Do you have that document on your screen by chance that you can share with everybody?
Yeah, so let me see if let me pull it up here.
Well, here's what I want you to do. Go ahead and open that window on your computer. There you go. Perfect. Make the window a little smaller on your screen, Sam. So, and then why don't you go ahead and press Control and plus so we can zoom in and see a little better, or zoom in on the spreadsheet.
Okay.
A little bit more if you can. Go up to like 150. Perfect. There we go.
Is that good?
That's great.
Okay, so again, this is something that we took from the Recruit Select process, and I recently went through the Recruit Select course again with Mark Willis, who is the CEO of Keller Williams, and he helped me tweak this document there in the class a little bit. So we've got it pretty detailed. I mean, just if you look at day one, how many things there are to review, you basically got 31 lines. That's all stuff that happens on day one. You see what I'm talking about here? So there's a lot to do, and this document we tried to get really, really granular on all of the different things that an ISA needs to do. Now, some of these things are more for an inbound ISA, but we generally use pretty much the same document for our virtual assistant ISAs and for in-house ISAs. Now, one of the fortunate things that we have when we're onboarding somebody is that between me and the other in-house ISAs here, there's a lot of people that these individuals can work with in order to get up to speed on their skills. A lot of what we do at first is pure shadowing, where the virtual assistant ISAs are logged in through a join.me or some sort of screen share program like that. Maybe a Google Hangout if that's what your team prefers.
Sam, that's great. You scrolled through the whole thing, so anyone that wants to see it again, they can watch the replay. You can go ahead and change it back to your face now. But thanks for showing that.
No
Just
problem.
press the little green button with the white mark over it. There you go.
Okay, so and we do a lot of shadowing at first. So the virtual assistant ISAs will shadow me making calls. They'll listen to me make calls. They'll see what I'm doing when I'm in our different systems on my computer screen. So they're listening to me while simultaneously watching my computer screen. So they'll see the systems that we use like Mojo or Boomtown or the different technology resources. Something as simple as how to calendar an appointment or how to enter a lead into our system in the way that it's supposed to be entered. All of those things are super important, just like you would be training somebody that's in your office. Generally what you do is have them shadow. It's, with today's technology, it's just as easy to do when someone is halfway across the world.
So, Sam, is that 1 week, 2 weeks of shadowing? How long with a virtual assistant are you, like, I guess we break it into two groups, right? You've got shadowing, you've got practicing with kind of some oversight, and then you have letting them go and do the work. How long is each of those sections?
So really it depends. We have what we call a test out process with with every role within our organization, whether it's listing manager or buyer's agent or listing specialist or ISA. They have to test out on certain activities. And so the way that I would do it is they would shadow me in the morning from 8 to 11. Then they would go to lunch or do some handwriting of scripts and things like that between 11 and 12, and then go to lunch. And then I would have a group coaching with them for an hour and a half from noon to 1:30. And that's where we would do scripts, practicing role-playing, where they're all on the call together. And then in the afternoons after that, they would work with my in-house ISAs to shadow them. So they would do that for about the first week to 2 weeks, depending on where they were. Then after that, it would be something where they would be maybe making calls themselves in the afternoons. what I also do is I record all of those calls so I can go back in and spot check and listen to the calls, particularly ones where they identified it as a nurture and put a nurture into the system. I would particularly go back and listen to those calls to make sure that they met all of the characteristics of an actual nurture. So the process really to get them totally up and running, because we want to get them into production as quickly as possible, they can be adding nurtures to your system as quickly as 2 weeks, but kind of free reign to do the job and know exactly what needs to be done about 30 days, which I think is probably not uncommon for almost any role within the real estate industry.
So that's the onboarding. So you just discussed really the first 30 days of the onboarding process.